Now, is this part going to make it onto the interview? Are we going to hear this part?
No.
No. Okay, that's what I figured. All right, keep going. Keep going.
Everything I say is not going to make
Fine.
it anywhere,
Okay.
so
Great.
don't worry about that.
Great.
But I thought you wanted to have a conversation, so...
Yes,
okay.
no, this is good. I'm just wishing this is good.
Well, you're gonna. I mean, they can hear it, but it's not making it to the show.
All right.
So she calls me, and at the moment I heard her name, just say, oh, I think, oh shit, okay, the next couple of hours are gone, because she's telling me all that stuff, and on the one hand, I know she has really got to get that out, and it's somehow my duty, because I like her, to hear that. But on the other side, I think of my, my free time, and I thought, well, I was just sitting here and now I have to hear all this stuff, and afterwards. But when it's over, okay, I think, well, it's good that
Yep. Imagine, though, if she called you up late at night and talked to you for 2 hours and it was mostly apologizing for bothering you, so that it's just one more layer of frosting, which is just something that goes along with kind of a depressive temperament. So there's a lot of narcissism and self-hatred.
Do you even love me?
Honey, you know what? Why don't you come on, play Monopoly with us? You can be the top hat.
I don't want to be the top. Don't use the top hat.
Zach, you love the top hat.
I know I love the top hat. That's the point. Come on, Assad. We're going.
I'm winning.
You're winning? Oh my God, you're winning? You're
Zach.
winning. Oh, what are you worried? You're gonna lose pieces? Are you gonna miss the pieces after you lose them? Are you gonna miss them?
Zach.
On my first viewing, for many reasons, this episode of this show stuck out to me. I'm going to now try and explain why. That rhymed. Vocal fry. Hello there. My name's Adam and you're watching Kabuki, a show that actually got past the pilot. Yeah. I did it, you did it, we did it. Thank you to all who have watched it. Whether you liked it, loved it, disliked it, or hated it, you gave me a view, which means you're getting more episodes. It's a win-win. Or a win-lose. Or a lose-win. Or a lose-lose. Either way, I hope that any improvements I've tried to implement into my presentation, writing, and performance are noticeable, and positive, of course. I think you can already notice I'm a bit more confident here. That's because I'm just really happy this worked out. I didn't think it would. Looking back, watching that video, I already kinda dislike it. There are things I could do so much better. And just even making it, I already knew that. And I hope maybe one day I can reach the level of skill my taste is at. And finally, I can be happy with the art I create. So, for our second ever topic of discussion, I'd like to talk about episode 8 of Not Really a Hit 2013 mockumentary sitcom, Zach Stone is gonna be famous. 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 Zach Stone. Zach Stone. And you thought my singing in last episode's outro was bad enough. I'm singing in every one of these and you're gonna like it! Zach Stone was made by one young Robert Pickering Bo Burnham, who you may know from his actually a hit dark comedy special, Inside, which is actually also where I first learned about the comedian myself, via Siege of the X's video, Bo Burnham vs. Jeff Bezos. Where I think we diverge, however, is that I went to look into all of Bo Burnham's previous stuff after that, and you didn't.
When I say hey, you say ho. Hey. Hey. That's basically how Hitler rose to power.
So, you guys like my shirt? Back home, they used to call me the tie-dye shirt kid. Well, that and
Hey kids, basketball is fun. But you know what isn't?
drugs. Do something hilarious.
I've always wanted a black girlfriend, not as a joke, just because, like, then when we're 69, I can call it yin-yanging. Guys, see?
Laughing at any of that isn't a bad thing, right? The show follows the titular 18-year-old born Bostonian Aryan librarian of the Wordsmithsonian, the rapid-scattered and has an ingenuity. I gave her this little part to give her continuity right after he graduates from high school during his summer vacation. And rather than applying for colleges, or, I don't know, just enjoying his summer vacation and doing the things you do when you're 18, he instead...
I am lucky enough to have two loving and open-minded parents who are beyond supportive of my decision to spend my entire life savings on a reality show about myself.
For his Sisyphean dream of becoming famous by all means necessary, with no actual talents, skills, or tangible self-awareness, and it rules.
Hanging with Zach.
The first embers of this small stroke of genius started with MTV of all places, just a year or two after they fully stopped playing music videos on the channel too, commissioning a 30-minute-long pilot from Bo about a kid fresh out of high school is pursuing the new American dream of being a celebrity without having any talent. Which is a quote the Wikipedia page cites from a Variety.com article that apparently exists? I'm sorry, last time I tried and clicked on it, it just gave me like a error message. Okay. Well, other than that, I have this from a 2013 interview with Burnham by Casey Lewis.
How did the concept of the show come about?
We read this study polling graduating high school seniors about what they wanted to be when they grew up, and 40% chose famous. That was the number one answer. Famous. Doctor was like 5%. Fame is presented as this fix-all to your problems. I remember being super young, like 9 or 10 years old, and thinking, man, I wonder what famous people eat for breakfast. They must have some special kind of cereal. My mind was so warped by the idea of fame. The problem for us, as viewers, is that we want famous people who are passionate about the things they're famous for, because that makes them worthy of the attention. But I think many of those famous people just want to be famous.
And this from a Vulture article by Elise Tchaikovsky that thinks it can outsmart me by begging for money. And in choosing to do a show like this, you're obviously inviting comparisons between yourself and the character.
Yeah, I am. I sort of conceived the show as a comparison to myself, to be like, I was not this person. I was definitely not the kid that just wanted to be famous for no reason whatsoever, and then happened to find comedy. Fame and all that stuff have always been slightly terrifying to me, and it makes me very anxious. As opposed to Zach, who, it just thrills him. The idea of fame and notoriety, even infamy, is so enticing to him. So, yeah, it's slightly worrying when people actually think that I am, like the person that I literally created to be the antithesis of me, people are thinking is me.
But you do seem like you have sympathy for him.
For sure. And the thing is, I went into it thinking this is gonna be this biting satire that slams this kid for having shallow priorities. And then, as we had to actually write where this kid is coming from, and why he feels this way, I realized that I don't have any problem with youth. I just have a problem with youth culture. I didn't want to bash young people. I don't want to bash a kid for dreaming or wanting something or being slightly ambitious. That's not the problem. The actual problem is with the culture surrounding him. He's just this scared little kid that is self-conscious, so he wants to change his body or change the way people perceive him. He never thought he was good enough, and fame is sort of this fix-all for kids now. I totally have sympathy for him, and hopefully the audience does too.
Put a pin in that last one. I might come back to it in some way. Okay, I feel the need to quickly clarify what I'm going to be covering here. I will cover all of the show later down the line, I promise. I will. I really will. But for today, I will be focusing only on episode 8. Zach Stone is going to go missing, as this episode, as I alluded to in the cold open, is the one that gave me the most memorable feels. And just like last time, spoilers ahead, but I'm hoping you've already watched this one yourself. And if you haven't, I think you really should. Sell the 7 Seas if you need to, but just watch the show. However you can. It's very funny, and it's very good. All you need to know to engage with this episode today is that Zach, played by Bo himself, has a Mom and Dad, played by Kari Coleman and Tom Wilson, a brother named Andy, played by Cameron Pilates, and two best friends who've been with him for most of his life. Greg, not the Heffley, played by Armin Weitzman, and Amy, played by Caitlin Gerard, who, specifically, over the first few episodes, gets in a relationship with a former classmate of all three kids named Nick, played by Robbie Amell, which Zach is quite jealous of but won't say or do anything about. Yet. He's got a job at a supermarket working under a manager named Pat, played by Rory Scovel, and employs an aforementioned camera crew of three. Philip, played by Justin Dre, Marcus, played by Jason Rodgel, and Hassad, played by Arshad Aslam. Arshad Aslam. Yeah, okay. Okay, on to the play-by-play. Or, rather, playback? Same thing. Okay, so the main two things the episode sets up before the title theme is Amy's birthday party and Zach's plan to go missing. After Zach gives a Hollywood to supermarket analogy to the audience,
The best food products from all over the world come and they compete for the public's attention. And you gotta be bright. And you gotta be original.
Amy then excitedly jumps into frame and presses Zach about her birthday, going on and on about how she had been talking Greg's ear off about all the fantastical parties Zach had thrown her in the past.
Yeah.
To which Zach seems to be quite uncomfortable about. So uncomfortable, in fact, he shoos the camera crew away, whispering for them to cut, like he's done many, many times before. Oh, Zach. They never cut. Except for the last episode.
Amy, look, I'm not gonna be around this weekend, okay? I think I have to work.
Notice how everything's placed in the shot. The characters are placed behind a set of metal bars with an aisle of celery or green onion filling the whole of negative space between them. Green is also the color Nick Corona's debut episode, episode 3.
Zach Stone is gonna get a makeover.
It's kind of like Amy dating Nick pushed her and Zach apart, you know? That's being represented here. It also kind of represents what Zach's doing in this episode. His actions leave her alone with only Nick at her side. And that angers Zach because, well...
He was a boy, she was a girl. Can I make it any more obvious?
I don't think that any of that was unintentional. Chekhov, load 2 guns. Cut to Zach.
Returning to the House of Stone after a long night of...
Whatever. To stumble and fall and twist Hassad's ankle into fighting his parents waiting in the pitch black to catch Andy, who snuck out again.
Is this a sting?
No. And here is where Zach gets his big idea for the episode.
Andy, we didn't know where you were. What if something happened to you? The next time we saw you could have been on the 12 o'clock news.
Yeah.
Zach Stone is gonna go missing and everyone will be like, oh no, where did Zach go? We should have cherished him while he was around us. Now he's gone. Remember how cool he was? Zach Stone. Zach Stone.
I like those last 3 lines because they show 2 sides of Zach's character. The side that needs to know if people care enough about him to look for him so he can stay in their lives, and the side that puts on a facade of egotism and arrogance to pretend that he doesn't need that. It's a duality, and I find that really cool. Let's get to the next scene, which is Zach breaking the news about his plan to a very uncaring Greg, saying he's going to be the only person who'll know about the operation. His explanation to the LeBlanc about why he's even doing this entire thing in the first place is that...
Dude, Elizabeth Smart, she got a book deal after she was kidnapped. Balloon Boy got to puke in the Today Show. Kid lived the dream, all right? The best way to get people to care about you is to disappear. America won't know what they've had till it's gone.
Which, adding the theme song into the mix, basically confirms the interpretation I'm going with here. To put it into the most simplest of words I can... For the missing thing to work, he must be found, and for people to find him means that they care about him enough to want him to stay in their lives. So, if he's found by the people in his daily life, he'll get confirmation whether or not they actually care about him. Editors know it's not even just an interpretation, it's just canon.
That was Zach, the episode he goes missing because, like, he's wants desperately to feel missed. And, yeah, so that was him in disguise because he was going missing and no one was caring.
Yeah. Dang it! Well, nothing I can do now, I guess. Side note, I love Greg's demeanor throughout this scene. It's very funny to me. He always seems a bit stoned out of his mind, but especially here.
What?
You can get eyeshadow and a wig because you're gonna be MIA.
Are you making a joke?
Get high like paper, get fly like planes, going on trains.
You're making me giggle and kicking my feet. And after Zacky boy says goodbye to the
old fam. Oh!
Sounds good, honey.
Cool. I'm gonna leave Assad with you.
No, wait, why?
Because his ankle's busted, okay? I'm not gonna put him down. He's a human being, not some horse.
Hey, it's an unmarked white van. I'm gonna go get a ride with that guy. Hey! Wait up! Ha! The driver's got a mustache!
The missing plan begins.
See you later.
Time skip to 2 p.m. And Zach is now in a bush, which is also green. Just noting. And he's watching Amy's every move from a few feet away with binoculars and the dumbest sunglasses I think I've ever seen. Okay, the sunglasses are on the dumb part, I just don't know why he's wearing them. His idea is that not showing up after calling her 30 minutes before to come meet up with him at the
favorite coffee and donut place, Sweet Holes.
I don't know why, but I have to specify all that, I'm sorry. Would alert and worry her enough to call the police.
She's texted me 4 times.
But, to Zach's dismay, she doesn't even seem to be the slightest bit devastated. And despite the Aryan librarian's efforts to rationalize her laughter as being a product of one of his best jokes, after 20 minutes of dozing off, he is only met with being replaced by Nick. Ugh. Yeah, Chekhov, fire gun number 1, please. Thanks.
Amy's probably just assembling a search party. Let's get out of here before the dogs catch on to my scent.
Okay then, next stop, the video store Greg works at. Oh, well, it's probably a Blockbuster, but I don't know. When Zach's confronted with the fact no one's called Greg about his whereabouts, mainly due to not knowing or being able to contact his work number, but still, he gets frustrated. So the chubby chinchillo kindly attempts to quell the disguised soon-to-be celebrity's worries by suggesting that he report himself missing. But Zach instead says this.
No, man, I need the people who care about me to report me missing, all right? And they should call the police.
And then when Greg instead suggests that he report Zach missing, Zach then says this.
What's in it for me?
No, the people who think I'm missing need to miss me, and they need to call the police because they're worried about me and want to see me again.
I really love this scene. I love how it plays out, and I love how Bo plays Zach here. Zach starts off in full disguise, but when the shortcut to fame is there, he takes off his glasses, exposing the windows to his soul, his eyes, as he denies it. No, man, I want, he shouts, before correcting it to a much more emotional and personal, even meaningful, I need in just a second. And again, when he responds to Greg's second suggestion, he's almost flailing his arms through each sentence. It's not controlled, it's not perfect, it's raw, it's real, it's human. It's Zach Stone. And he's gonna be famous. But since Plan A seems to be a bust, it's time instead for Plan B. Ransom video. That sure will work.
Andy?
Just checking the mail.
I won't show the ransom video here, go watch the show yourself, but all I will say is that it did not, due to Andy's showcase meddling / need to sneak out and socialize for some reason. I can't relate. But it is, in
classic Zach
fashion, very funny. Go watch the show.
I forgot to mention one more thing. Thank text-to-speech that I can. One line I will give, that was said in the ransom video, is from Zach. And this is just the kidnappers talking, but you must send Andy to a boarding school, somewhere deep in the woods, where there are no trophies, and no sports, or anything, for him to win. Andy then skips ahead, to where Zach then goes on to say, the Andy is the worst tattoos you both will get, should be tasteful, and visible.
I'm focusing primarily on the skim and 1% demographics.
That's illegal. That has to be. Zach, what is wrong with you? Anyway, Green Man.
I never said I missed her when everybody kissed her. No, I'm the only one to blame.
He's not wearing any green though, but yeah.
Things have changed for me, and that's okay.
Nick, when seeing the stone, questions him about why
Why'd you stand up Amy this morning for coffee? She was worried about you.
And Zach, a glimmer of hope reinstated in his heart for the operation, takes off his glasses and mask and simply asks...
She was?
Yep.
Again, showing his eyes, ears, and mouth when he says that is a very clear way to convey showing the emotions he's masking being revealed. It's simple, classy, bougie, Ratchet and Clank rift apart. I'd like to write they banter some more, but I think that's the farthest thing either one of them are doing here. Nick is definitely more on the friendly side, inviting Zach to his surprise party for Amy.
You're throwing her a party.
But he, at least in my mind, definitely holds at least a few negative feelings for the Aryan, indicated by the line,
Well, I mean, it may not live up to one of those legendary Zack Stone parties she can't stop talking about.
and especially with its delivery, the last few words sounding like he's speaking them through his teeth off screen, which is probably the case. Or maybe this is just Greg getting annoyed at how Amy's fawning over a thing done by another guy, and someone else, and not about Zach specifically. Or it's both, I don't know. It's all subjective! Whereas Zach, throughout the conversation, has his gaze averted up and down and all around away from the Green Man. His response is short and unenthusiastic in comparison to his partner in conversation, and also a little passive-aggressive, at least in the last few sentences.
Alright, I gotta find some more supplies. Where are the Pringles?
Amy hates Pringles. She's gonna love this party.
Yeah.
Oh, and this might sound weird, but don't tell anybody that you were talking to me.
Definitely won't.
And he just goes right back to it. Okay, laws don't apply to you, I guess. Cut back to Greggy Meisters, where the two find out that Nick has already invited around and possibly over 90 people to Amy's surprise party via email blast. How does one man with a strong jawline and the ability to make small talk get that many people to come over for an 80s themed loud music blaring dance floor having birthday party with the phrase "wob"? Oh, okay, yeah, that makes total sense. Alright, whatever. This is an unfortunate turn of events for our resident Lanky Lankster, who angrily declares,
Oh my god, it's gonna suck.
but then begrudgingly adds,
I'm missing, so there's nothing I can do about it.
and then immediately cut to Zach going over to Nick's mansion himself. Are you kidding me? And he's wearing green, holding green to help decorate the party room, the Green Man himself, walking behind green, walking around green. Now that I think about it, there's a lot more green here than there can be to make an actual point, huh? Nope, cock that gun. It's not a swear word. It's a verb. Mom. Well, after Zach gets a confirmation of his worst dang nightmare in the form of warm, genuine praise...
What'd she say?
You're like the brother she never had.
It's awesome.
He hits the hay with Nicki Minaj.
How's this work? Are they gonna film us sleep?
And then sneaks up to his house in the day, hiding from his family. People he wanted to be missed by. Just like he did with Amy at the start of the operation. And even hides behind a bush. Which is, fine! Well, we've come full circle. Which means you probably know where this is going. Zach tells the audience how...
In that house is a family in mourning, devastated by the loss of their favorite son.
But in reality, the moment he goes in to sneak around them and take a dump, he hears...
Kaboom! 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my! Hey,
you know what that is? It's
1200.
Hello?
Hey, honey.
Hi! Anyone have anything to say to me?
And now we're back to square one. And I can now explain why I started with this moment in the cold open. And also try and make sure this video isn't a nothing burger. It's not, right? I think what really resonated with me here is how everyone reacts to Zach's words.
So Andy's gone for 2 hours, and you're ready to call the police? I'm gone for an entire day. No one's concerned.
Nothing. Andy kind of looks amused even at that.
Do you even love me?
Not played straight at all, I know, but still. Changing the subject to the board game to calm him down and or shut him up. And immediately after the scene, when Greg and Zach are in the car driving off, he says this.
The best part about going missing was supposed to be being found. My parents are supposed to hug me like they never hugged me before and go, oh my god, Zach. Oh, why do we ever think you're annoying? We're gonna cherish every minute with you from now on.
And man? Yeah, I get that. A lot. Be it played straight or not, the poor kid just wanted a sign that the people who he depended on, who he cared about the most in his life, cared for him likewise and acknowledged his existence in their lives. And instead, they figuratively and maybe a little bit literally laughed in his face. That's gotta hurt. But even still, you can't blame them for his poor communication. And he pours his heart out in such a goofy way you, on purpose, just can't take him fully seriously. Oh, that's me, isn't it? Why am I acting like I don't know that for sure? I am me. I did this on purpose. Actually, continuing off of that, you know how I've been doing a bit of a deeper voice for some of these lines, like I'm doing right now? Well, that's called saving face, and saving face is kind of what Zach's been doing. With how he acts, I think one would argue he has a big ego, in the sense he is arrogant, selfish, and self-centered. But I disagree, at least partially. I don't think he has a big ego. I think he has an inferiority complex thanks to Andy. Oh! Remember the ransom video / the small bit I told you that happened in it? If you haven't watched the show, go watch the show. Yeah. One of Andy's core character traits to Zach is that he wins everything. He's in a way the favorite / golden child of the family. He seems to be fairly social, attracted to girls, and he's achieved a lot in sports, shown by the large collection of trophies in his bedroom. Whereas Zach has never won anything like that, is shown to be something of a major social outcast, and is probably a tad mentally ill. I mean, if he's trying to get the attention of the world, is he getting enough attention at home? I don't think so. And, as a result, to save face, he does all of this. And it does not work. Especially here. Not to sound preachy, but when you can't communicate how you really feel to others, especially those closest to you, especially as a teenager, it hurts. It hurts a lot. Speaking from experience. What Zach did in this episode, and what he does in the entirety of the show in general, it's not the correct thing to do. Not the right thing to do. But for me, it's a reasonable thing to do. And I feel like I'd do it too. So, yeah, I get that. A lot. Anyway, now the only person who thinks Zach is missing is now Amy. So, off to the party they go.
Amy was really worried about me, so whatever footage we're gonna get now is totally gonna make up for my heartless and boring family.
They then bumble into Greenie McGreeny's house, somebody kills the lights, and...
Surprise! I'm safe!
This is perfect.
I've watched this episode like 1,000 times, but this moment always makes me seethe. Yeah, Nick just takes all the credit, like a jerk, and Zach decides to try and actually just go up to Amy himself, but is stopped by a partygoer who actually finds a joke of his funny, and kind of forces him into a photo, whilst all the poor boy can do is watch as he's forgotten. Every attempt to know if the people around him cared, gone. It was bright, it was original, but nothing came out of it. And the cherry on top?
Hey, what are those cameras for? Oh my god, is there someone famous here?
No, there isn't.
Oof. Remember that quote of Bo saying that he had a lot of sympathy for Zach? That's in play, right here, right there. And in this moment of hopelessness for Zach, a moment of hope, or rather realization and excitement, comes for Amy. She asks Greg and the camera crew where Zach is. The crew is shrugging their shoulders, and Greg responding with,
All I'm saying is, if anyone wants one of these empanadas, they better get one now, because they're killer.
No thoughts at empty, I love it. Amy, then, all by herself, realizes where he might be, giving a bit of exposition behind a place she and Zach used to go to when they were kids. But before she can even finish her sentence...
Path off of Baywood Road, and towards the end of the path, there's this gazebo, and it had this really cool...
With This Is John, I didn't show the ending out of respect for This Is John, and to get you to watch This Is John yourself. But here, I'm gonna show it, because I can't write my thesis statement, what does that mean past me, without it. And Zach Stone is a bit more well-known than This Is John. outside of This Is John being the example every film school gives for a short film. So, I'll just let these two say their words. They'll put it a lot more eloquently than I ever could.
Hey!
Hey.
I thought you'd be down on Baywood Road.
Do you know how scary that place is at night?
Party looks amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick did it
Thank you,
really.
Zach.
You're welcome.
We need to be better at hanging out more before the summer slips away.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. Yeah, I know. You want to head back in?
Not yet. I feel like I haven't seen you in the last couple of days.
Yeah, I've been, I've been busy with stuff.
I missed you.
I miss you too.
Do you see it? The bars that once stood between the two are now behind them, no longer caging one from the other. And the green? It is all around them, but not in between them. The green is now the one in the bars. The only one in the bars. They are free. They are together. And so they rest. And so they smile. I think that's beautiful, and I don't think that's unintentional. Fire that gun, Chekhov. Roll credits.
Next on Zach Stone.
Is it nice to go around scaring other people? I don't answer those questions, okay? I just give America what they want. Ah! I'm gonna scare the out of that little.
So, we still on for tonight?
Zach and I have Halloween plans. Nick keeps texting me.
You're sleeping here tonight?
Yes.
With Zach.
Amy, all right, if we die in here, I just want to tell you,
I think I gave most of my readings and analysis in the playback, so this part will be shorter, but nonetheless. The last things I can say here is that throughout the episode, I found feelings of hope, confusion, frustration, and more in most, if not all, of Zach's actions, each one taking turns as the main driver for an action or two. First hope, then confusion, then hope again, then frustration, then worry, then hopelessness and loneliness, and finally, hope one last time, and content. The episode in its entirety is a showcase of the side of Zach's character, or more so, the sides, that I vibe, relate, understand the most. And I really like it for that.
He's just this scared little kid that is self-conscious, so he wants to change his body or change the way people perceive him. He never thought he was good enough, and fame is sort of this fix-all for kids now. I totally have sympathy for him, and hopefully the audience does too.
There really is a lot of narcissism and self-hatred, huh? Does that even fit here? I don't know. I'd love to talk about the whole show someday, alongside all of Bo's other endeavors, and their impact on me as a person and me as an artist, as I can already feel myself going on a long tangent right now because this episode feels a bit unfinished if I don't talk about all of Bro Burnham's other stuff. Oh well. But that's for another time. Another season. For now, we end here. If you want more videos on Zach Stone, I linked a few in the description that I've watched. And if you know any other good stuff about the show yourself, show and tell in the comments and discuss amongst yourselves. Don't be shy, just be decent. As for me, I'm tired and out of fuel. And that's all there is to say. My name has been Adam, you've been watching Kabuki, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, remember, if you try, you can do anything. How do I summon so much energy just for that last bit? I have power. It's great. I'm sure most would assume that the upgrade for this section of singing would be me bringing in a guitar, Nah, it's gonna be belly bongos and finger drums, sorry. I mean, my singing has kind of improved a little bit, hopefully, but I don't know how to play guitar. I have a guitar, but I don't know how to play it. Well, maybe we should try communication. Or maybe there's some things I'm just not meant to know. Maybe you can help me see. Because I'm short-sighted, I can't see past my nose. Ba-dum-ba-dum-bum, ba-dum-bum. Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-dum, ba-dum-bum, ba-dum-bum, ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-da-ba-da-ba-dum, ba-dum-bum, ba-dum, ba-dum-bum, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-dum, ba-dum-bum, ba-dum-bum, ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-bum, ba-da-ba-bum. Woo! That wasn't the right melody, but I'm okay with that. Thank you and good night. Oh.